And the biggest gaming overreaction of the year goes to Twitter, X, gaming console keyboard warrior online. You are the winner. Congratulations. What's going on, everybody? Well, my name is Harrison and welcome back to the channel. And yes, we're talking about the big Xbox podcast drama that happened today. We're kind of going to break down everything that was said and some stuff that was announced in it. So yeah, the internet has been stewing over the last 2 weeks with all the reports and the speculation about Xbox going third party. All of their first party, big games are going elsewhere. Halo, Gears of War, all that stuff. They're getting rid of Game Pass, or they're putting Game Pass on other on other consoles. Xbox is getting out of the hardware business. Microsoft is selling the Xbox brand, or whatever the case is. A bunch of what I thought was a lot of it was like just overreaction nonsense type of stuff. I never really believed. Now, I did a video last week about this same topic and what potential ideas that I could think of that could happen. I never truly believed that Xbox would just stop making hardware. I think there's still too much money to be made. They've gotten all these studios that are going to be developing on their hardware and then potentially bringing them to other consoles. We'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, for Xbox to Microsoft to sell off Xbox, I mean, there's just, while the Xbox isn't selling as much as obviously the Switch and the PS5, they're still making a ton of money. And there's still so much more money that could be made in the gaming space. So for Microsoft to just abandon Xbox in general and gaming sounds kind of absurd. So I just wanted to bring that up because I've seen a lot of very, very hot takes on the internet in this last week, and I'm glad we can finally kind of I don't know. People are still going to be talking about speculating, what's going to come, what's going to go to other platforms in the future. But for now, if you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. It's about 22 minutes. It's I thought it was a pretty good, a pretty good discussion. Obviously, all the questions were predetermined, and they knew, they had all the answers ready to go. But Phil came out and said there are 4 games that are coming to other platforms, Switch, PS5, at some point. They did not announce any of those games. I'm sure they're going to let Nintendo, whenever they decide to do their Nintendo Direct, announce those. But the games, he said 2 live service games and 2 smaller titles. So if you do the math, if you think about the history of what Xbox has right now, 2 smaller titles are Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush, and then the 2 live service are Sea of Thieves and Grounded. Now those are absolutely not confirmed. So we don't truly know. Obviously, Hi-Fi Rush was like the big one that everyone's talking about, and that's the one that really makes the most sense, And I don't know. I don't really understand why everyone was so caught off guard with Xbox potentially putting some of their titles on other platforms. They've been doing it for years now. When they acquired Minecraft, they didn't yank those from the store. They didn't stop updating them. Their Minecraft is on literally everything, right? I mean, it's on everything. They've been putting all their first party stuff on Xbox and PC day one. They don't do the Sony approach and put their first party stuff first, and then years later, then they port them over to the PC. They do it all at once. And now look at Call of Duty. I don't think there was a world. I know they had the trial and stuff like that, and Xbox pretty much had to guarantee that Call of Duty was going to remain on other platforms, but I don't think Xbox had any idea or there any plans on not having it multi-platform, because there's just too much money that's being left on the table if it's not. If you just bring it to Xbox, how many people are going to jump over to Xbox that are on PlayStation just to play Call of Duty? There might be some, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you don't just have it go multi-platform. And I think that's the approach that Xbox is obviously going to be using in the future. And I think that makes total sense. Now, Phil also, came out and said, Starfield and Indiana Jones are remaining an exclusive to Xbox, to the Xbox brand. we don't exactly know if that's gonna how long that's gonna stay true. I think as time as time goes forward, plans will change, and if the sales of Starfield have stopped, or they think they can get a boost in sales, they may move it over to another platform. It could be just an exclusive to Xbox for a couple of years and then be moved over. So I think that just makes sense. I think AAA gaming is in a very bad, maybe not bad, but kind of a worrisome state at the moment. Games are costing just way too much money to make, and they're taking too long to make, and then they might not turn a profit as much as these companies are anticipating. I just did a video about PlayStation yesterday, but their sales projections were way off by like 4 million, which isn't a ton, but their projections were off. They don't have any first party exclusives in 2024, not until at least March of 2025. So that's kind of insane. So I think these games are just taking way too long to make, and why not port them over? If the game's not selling, or maybe they've run their course on Game Pass, why not move them over to another console and make the money? Xbox isn't in the business anymore of just selling consoles. That's not their game plan. They want to make a profit. So they want to sell their games. They want to bring their games to everything, to every platform, play any way you want, anywhere you want with your friends. Like that's been their motto for so long. So the writing's been on the wall for all this stuff. So I don't understand why people are, so up in arms about that. But maybe that's just me. And I don't have like a business brain or anything like that, but that's where I would take it. Could it hurt the overall Xbox brand? Who knows? People on Twitter were saying they're going to sell their Xbox because of the rumors the last 2 weeks, which is insane. I think if you're going to, I don't know. I never understood that, like selling your Xbox, or even like in the sports where people like burn their jerseys. Like you spent $150 on that jersey and you're going to burn it because your team didn't make the playoffs or lost or something like that. That's absurd. So who knows? It could hurt the overall Xbox brand. We have no idea. But I think, Xbox is in the game to make money, as all of other companies are. And I think they're kind of jumping ahead. Like they're seeing the I say writing on the wall again, but they're seeing the writing on the wall with these big AAA games taking forever to make and they cost too much, that they have a lot of smaller, titles. They have, live service games that could potentially make them money, or, games just have microtransactions in them. So I think they're evaluating the gaming landscape and maybe trying to figure out something that could be sustainable for the future. So again, all this stuff makes sense. I want to jump over to kind of the big points. This comes from Benji Sales over on Twitter. So shout out to Benji. He does a lot of sales data and stuff like that. So cool guy. Follow him. He's all the numbers are cool. But this is basically what he wrote up. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass. That's pretty huge. I think that's one of the first Activision Blizzard games to come over to Game Pass, so that is certainly awesome. Can't wait to try that out. Reiterated, there's 34 million Game Pass subs, which I know have slowed down over the last year or so. So this is probably why Xbox is wanting to put their stuff elsewhere, right? No fundamental change to exclusive. Again, this is all that was talked about in this podcast, but there's nothing exclusive wise as of right now. There's nothing, the Starfields and the Halos, all that stuff is going to be exclusive to Xbox, and at least come to Xbox first, as far as we know. Game Pass, that was kind of one of the big rumors. Is Game Pass going to be on other consoles? And the answer is no. It's on Xbox and PC, as it always is. Game Pass is still getting day one first party games, as it always has. And Sarah Bond, she dropped a little hint that we are getting, a next generation Xbox. Or she said hardware, but I would assume that, the next generation Xbox is in development. And she said that we should be hearing more about it in the holiday, whether it's dropping this holiday or if it's just being revealed in the holiday. We don't know. But obviously that leak happened last year, where they showed the all digital only cylinder looking Xbox. It looked like kind of like a Xbox Slim, Xbox Series X Slim, or like a refresh or something like that. She did mention that, as they want to make it better for gamers going forward. An all digital Xbox, to me, that doesn't seem like consumer friendly, because I think, a lot of people are scared about going digital only versus physical, because, digital, you don't technically own the games, you just license them, and they could technically revoke that at any point in time and take it away from you. So that's a little bit scary, and that's obviously, a lot of people are worrisome about the future of that. So an all digital Xbox, at least PlayStation has, all digital. They have the option, and I guess, I'm assuming they won't phase out the Series X with the disc, but maybe they do, and this is what it is going forward. But also, Xbox sells a lot of Game Pass games, right? They have got Game Pass, so they're not selling a lot of Xbox physical games anymore. So, but maybe with their other games going, to other platforms, they'll sell more physical copies there. So we just don't know yet. So, yeah, I think more options for gamers are good when it comes to stuff like that. So I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment that Sarah had to say. But I don't know. I feel like while this was good to have all this stuff, reaffirmed for us, this whole podcast felt like kind of like a nothing burger, because everything that was mentioned, I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. And I feel like that was kind of the case outside of like some of the games that were exclusive to Xbox are coming to other platforms. But again, stuff like, not confirmed, but Sea of Thieves, Grounded, it's a live service game. Why not put those on other platforms to get more players in there, crossplay, get crossplay going? That just makes so much sense to me. So I don't know. A lot of people are probably upset. And again, we don't know, I think they're going to take every game like a case by case basis going forward. Outside of Halo and Gears of War and stuff like that, I don't see those ever going multi-platform, but who knows? It could definitely happen one day. We don't know. And again, does that devalue the brand of Xbox? I don't know. I'm excited for whatever Xbox has left, has coming up in the future as far as their hardware goes. I've always enjoyed Xbox's hardware. Didn't love the Xbox One, but I feel like a lot of people have that same opinion. A lot of people didn't like the Xbox One in general, but I've loved my Series X so far. Still kind of waiting on more games to come to it, so we'll see. But yeah, I think all this stuff makes perfect sense for Xbox. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Are you guys on the same page as I am? Are you mad about this? I think more games going to other consoles it's pretty good. I think there's certainly a future where PlayStation, instead of doing their games first on PlayStation and then releasing them on PC years later, I think there could be a day where they do it day on both day one. I think that makes a lot of sense. Look at Helldivers 2. That launched on both PS5 and PC. So I think it just makes sense. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.